Buenos días a todos. Desde Casa de la India tenemos el privilegio hoy de presentar a Isha Sharvani. Isha Sharvani es una bailarina, coreógrafa, profesora de yoga, actriz también, que va a hablarnos hoy desde Australia. Isha Sharvani es parte del proyecto Prana, un proyecto internacional que hemos producido desde Casa de la India en colaboración con otras instituciones como Residuo y Teatro, Compañía Mónica de la Fuente, y estamos muy orgullosos de tener la oportunidad de conocer a Isha Sharvani dentro de este proyecto y ver qué es para ella el concepto de prana. Prana para nosotros ha sido una investigación de un año y los resultados de este proyecto se irán viendo a lo largo de todo este año con diferentes actividades organizadas desde Casa de la India. Good morning, Isha. Isha Sharvani.
Good morning.
How are you? I know today from Australia we get this connection, trying to connect different people around the world, bringing you to Spain with all this concept around that is prana. I would like to introduce you to Isha Sharvani. I know her for the last, I would say, well, many years. For me, Isha is dance itself, I have to say. And this is a very personal way of introducing her instead of starting from whatever she does. For me, being next to Isha means being next to dance. She dances with her body. She dances with, I would say, with the space, with air. So whenever you are next to her, you can feel the vibration of her body next to you. So for me, this is the best introduction I would say, you can say about a dancer who dances live. So Isha has a background of traditional dances like Kathak, Kalaripayattu, and other forms, Chow also, that she has been learning under a family which is, I would say, immersed in dance. Her mother, Daksha Sheth, is a very, very good dancer of Kathak and many other forms. So Isha has been growing up in this context of traditional dance forms. At the same time, her father is also a creator, composer, artistic director, and so Isha has grown in this background of creation and also in the constant dialogue between tradition and contemporary forms, because Daksha Sheth Company is today one of the leading companies of presenting programs which are connecting traditional backgrounds with contemporary approach. So Isha has also choreographed. She's one of the main dancers of the company, but she has done also her own research on the forms she's been wanting, I would say, to learn and to be part of her body language and body knowledge. So I think she's been trained in ballet and contemporary forms. So all this kind of blend of languages have made of Isha a great, I would say, somebody you want to know what she's coming with all those languages. Apart from that, yoga, I think, is also a very, it's a source for her development as an artist. So we want to know from Isha how all those forms have become part of her language and of her dance today. And then we can maybe give this framework of the project. But first, I would like Isha to talk a little bit on her, to trace from her life what are the things she wants to share with us in all the training she has been done for all those years. So Isha.
Well, firstly, good day to everyone all around the world. It's wonderful how we've all adapted to coronavirus and what it has done to us as humans. Also the arts, how we are coming back and finding new ways of collaborating, because we can't just hop on flights anymore and go around the world. I would just like to acknowledge that I'm really, really grateful to have this conversation today, and that we're all breathing. And the minute we stop breathing, each one of us will die, and therefore there's something very beautifully connected, just being alive, being present. And breath is definitely that thread that runs across life, that connects all us humans and living animals and creatures. So when I was much younger, I didn't really think so much about breath. But as I've gone older, then things were, for example, in yoga, where unless you're doing pranayama, the breath has a very specific way of using the breath. Then in pranayama, you use it differently. Whereas in places like Kalaripayattu, which is a martial art from South India, which Monica is also a student of. We're actually all learnt under CVN Kalari. There you use the breath, they call it Vayu, which in Sanskrit literally relates to air. Chinese people call it Chi, you can call it Prana. And so while yoga is either keeping it very stable and a very neutral breath, in forms such as Kalari, you really learn to keep the breath and you use it to like build momentum and get energy. A lot of the times in now contemporary dance, we use the breath to connect to a softness in just day-to-day lives. Sometimes, I'm a single mom, busy life, anxiety, it happens. And then in that moment, I'm like, I can give the anxiety energy, or I could breathe and I can just take a moment back. And that's something I want to share today. It's just like these simple exercises that I find useful. They may not work for you, but it's just breathing. So if it does, then it's something you can do in a car, just a mindful breathing. And as I'm growing older, I'm teaching my son that when he gets really angry and he's like, I'm like, Luca, take a deep breath. Just take a breath. And now he's also like understanding, I can calm myself down by using what God has given me, my own life and my own prana, my own breath. So I'm very excited to be doing this project, an Indo-Spanish project in the time of Corona about breath, which is, I think, a very, very important thread that connects us all right now. And it's something that the virus really affects. So the people who I've talked to who have recovered from the coronavirus, have all spoken about how breathless they get, how their energy sapped because of their whole heart region have been really attacked by the virus. So
it's great to have Isha also in this project. Just to put a frame to the different artists we are part of Prana, because it's the way we have figured out this is a long-term project. That's to say that for us, the moment we thought that Prana is a central theme to encounter people and have different professionals to talk and to share artistic experiences around the theme. The first I would say seed, that for this project was the meeting of Germán Díaz, a very good musician that we have in Spain, with Tao Isaro in Kerala, and also Isha and me. 4 of us were there in Kerala Literature Festival. And we thought, let's do something together where music and dance can start dialoguing. That was before coronavirus. So when we started to think, okay, what's the theme? How do we want to, we were all in our houses, locked down. So for me, Prana, it came like kind of need of finding energy through the air. Also because even now that we realize that, or we hear not very good things about how the transmission through air of this virus, we think, okay, let's think that, air for us is life. So that how do we want to have this air where we live? Yeah? And how do we want to connect people? When you are next to someone, you feel the breathing of the other person. And that's what really can connect you. So all these kind of thoughts came into the theme. So we've done a few already, some residency here in Spain, where we have started to compose a theatrical expression where we include dance and music with all this exchange of different aspects of the theme. So we had Isha, who is a great composer from Kerala, composing music for this encounter. He has done beautiful music backgrounds to connect us to different aspects of air. We have Germán Díaz also, who has composed through his traditional music, we would say, or the research he's doing with traditional Spanish music with his instrument, sanfona, which is, you call it harigari, I think. It's a name which does, for me, it doesn't work in my mind, because sanfona, I think it's a medieval instrument that he's playing in a very contemporary way. And then we have Gregorio, who is the director from Italy, living in Spain, who is putting all those elements together, Gregorio Amicucci, with 4 dancers for the moment, with our body, and Isha from Australia today, connecting us and breathing together to know how in this case, I'm interested in knowing how Indian traditional forms or wisdoms have worked with prana. So this kind of question we would like to share with other teachers, other professors in different parts of the world, to see how prana is part of our lives, and how all those traditional forms have worked and with that concept in the moment they have produced different movements or songs or whatever. So we would like to listen to Isha, one of his compositions, which were very special, I would say, for us listening to that in Spain. And let's see how is that interpreted. Thank you, Isha, for this wonderful presentation. We would like to continue that for many more minutes, but let's move forward, and let's see how do you want to introduce as in your work the concept of prana related to yoga exercise or whatever. So the space is for you.
Thank you so much. This is the first time I've tried a Zoom performance in my house, which is also very beautiful. I like being able to share dance still. As in 2020, we didn't get to perform much, so it's still nice that we are finding new ways of connecting and letting not Corona just become isolating, but still sending forth that energy. What I was thinking of doing today was leading you through a small, relaxing, what I would normally use quite often before I go to work, kind of a day, where I just want to feel centered, but I don't want to tire my physical body. And so it's just, I'm just going to run you through the session. There are a couple of things that I need to say as a disclaimer before I begin. For example, I can't see you. So in a normal situation where we are physically together, I can see you and I can see if you're doing something wrong. Today, I'm going to lead you through a breathing, a yogic breathing and some stretching, which is inspired from BKS Iyengar's style of yoga and concepts commonly used throughout classical and contemporary dance forms. While doing this particular sessions, please, breathe through your nose. If you need to breathe out through your mouth, that's okay. Listen to your body. If there's anything which is not feeling right, don't do it. There is a chat option, so you can chat. So after the session, if there are specific questions you'd like to ask, I'm always happy to answer them. Use my words and my body as only a reference, because truly, this is how my yoga teacher taught, was not to be in his shadow, but actually to understand, to just use my words as a reference today to see what you like, this is new, what you don't like, maybe it's something that you've done a lot, so it's super easy for you, but take it easy, take it gently. I encourage you to listen to your body, to trust your body, and if you feel like doing something totally different to what I'm saying, that's also totally fine. I will start off by 3 simple breaths we're going to do. We're going to do 10 cycles of 3 breaths, belly breaths. Now, when we're doing belly breaths, it's really intuitive. Your body actually already knows what it's doing. Just the idea of like soft opening the belly from the nabhi or the belly button, just allowing the breath to be really soft. And we're going to do this about 10 breaths. I'll talk you through it. And then we're going to do heart breathing. And this, like a water, imagine you're pouring water into the jug, and therefore your lungs fill from the bottom, the middle, the top, retaining very calm through your upper shoulders, as if your collarbones are opening out like wings. You want to imagine that if you want to imagine it all. So we're going to do 10 belly breaths. And also I encourage you to hold your hands here if you feel like it. Keep them open, any mudra, whatever you fancy, namaskar, however. So 10 belly breaths, 10 heart breaths, and 10 breaths where we're going to focus on really keeping gentle and soft. A lot of tension we build in between the eyes. We carry it here in between the lips and under the jaw. And we're going to just inhale, focusing on the nose, and exhale. 3 ways of doing this. You can do this standing. If you're standing and you just want to like take a position, if you're seated, you can do it. I'm going to show you how to do it. Or if you want to do it with the yoga mat, like so, you can find yourself in the most comfortable position that you can on the floor. I'm presuming a lot of people are going to be sitting right now, so I'm going to start it sitting. We are going to just make sure before we start that we bring our mind to our body. We're only going to be here for a very short amount of time, so we can let go of the baggages of what we need to do today, what hasn't been done already, and just take a moment to center ourselves in our body. I would like it if your knees and ankles could stay in line. So I'm kind of making like a 90-degree angle with my feet. I open up the palms of my feet, the bottoms of my feet, and I relax. I bring my spine to what feels like it's the most straight today and relax. I keep my hands wherever you feel like, whatever feels good to you, and relax. Taking a moment to open from the collarbone outwards and keeping the shoulders rotating back and down. So you get a nice length in your neck. Finally, we come to the eyes. Placing your eyes open, just gently somewhere on the floor. So your eyes are open but not engaging in anything for the moment being. You can place your hands on the belly and we're going to do 10 belly breaths to start with. So if you're ready, we're going to begin and to go. Inhale and exhale. Keeping the belly loose and open. And exhale. Inhale and exhale. 4. Inhale. Exhale. And 5. And exhale. Soften the hips. And exhale. Soften the quadriceps. And exhale. Inhale and exhale. Last belly breath. Sticking your tummy out really loose like a pregnant woman. Inhale and exhale. Now you can bring your attention and awareness to your rib cage. You can place your hands there if you want or not. And inhale and exhale. And inhale, bottom, middle, top, keeping it relaxed in the shoulders. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Halfway there. Just simple. You know how to do this. You don't have to imagine anything. Inhale and exhale. Looking down. Eyes are open. They're not interacting. They're just looking without any thought. And finally, we're going to bring our head slightly up and 10 breaths, keeping awareness in the nostril area. Just feeling the prana, feeling your breath in and out. It's so simple, so intuitive. We all can do this without any thought, any effort. And inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And exhale, making sure the jaw is loose. Making sure the eyes are really relaxed. Making sure there's no tension in your throat, your tongue, the back of your tongue. Last 5 breaths. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And last time. Inhale. And exhale. Thank you so much for breathing. Let's all acknowledge that we breathe together. We breathe to be alive. It's also our most intuitive and natural process. So no questions yet, fine. I will go on to now taking you through a few 6 really simple, basic yoga exercises that really help me open up my body in the beginning of the day. The first one I'm going to show it to you, so please have a look before you get into it. This is just for safety because I cannot see everyone and I'm not sure what levels we're all at. What we will need is our blanket, if you need, for this position to support your head, and a yoga mat. What we'll do is we need a clear wall, and we will place our yoga mat on the floor. And if you want, you can keep this by your side to support your neck and head. I will request you all to sit on the side as close as you can to the wall, keeping your hands and toes facing each other, so facing forward, coming down onto your elbows and rolling your legs up. We'll be doing a series of exercises here, ending with us rolling to the side and then the other side like that. I hope you can see me. It may be a little dark, so I am going to move my camera so that you can see me a bit better. Okay. So, hopefully you guys have a wall. You can sit down, get really comfortable, placing your hands beside you, tucking in your elbows to roll onto your spine and pushing yourself into this position. When you're comfortable with your knees are bent, your spine is long, place your feet up on the wall and just relax them here. I hope you're all here in position. And what we're going to do is just move our toes and curl our toes. It's a very subtle movement. Just waking up the feet. And all we do, if my legs are up on the wall, I open my feet. So I open them and then I curl my toes in. I open my feet and I curl my toes in. It can be a very little movement. Let's just do it 5 times. Just unfurling the toes of the feet and then giving them a little point, and 4, and point, and 5. I'm just doing it with my hands, but you don't need to. And 5. Now bringing your awareness to your knees. So if they're at the wall, they can be at any angle at the wall, like wherever you feel comfortable. So imagine my feet are at the wall. All I'm going to do is open out the backs of my knees and release it down. Open out the backs of the knees and release it. Whatever angle, it doesn't matter. Open out the backs of the knees and release. We're going to do this maybe another just 4 or 5 times. Open out the backs of your knees and release. Open out the backs of the knees and release. Open out the backs of the knees, release. Open out the backs of the knees and release. You can take your legs off the wall and bring your knees as if you're coming close to your heart. Your hands, palms face the ceiling, and relax your shoulders all the way down to the floor. So you really feel your fingers, your 10 fingers coming in contact with the floor. And your knees are gently opening up. They're quite wide actually. I'm keeping my knees quite wide here, as you can see. And I'm allowing them to come near my heart. Those of you who feel adventurous can try to clasp on from the outside your feet. And this, in the Western world, they call this the happy baby, just like so. But if this is not feeling very happy and it's actually feeling stressful, then you can just be like here. What this is essentially doing is that we're lengthening out the lower spine and releasing the hamstrings. This is what we're doing here. And now, really coming into a baby position, little baby position, and tucking in your lowest pelvis from your tailbone and sucking your belly button in and releasing it out. Sucking your belly button in, curling it up and releasing it out. We'll do this 4 more times. In and release. And with the breath. And release. Really easy. Remember, this is connecting to the belly breath. And release. Beautiful. And now we're going to do those 4 side rolls that I had shown. If the wall is still here, that's fine. All you have to do is release in the lower spine, release the hips and your quadricep muscles, which are these big ones. And allow yourself to melt and be soft and go over to your left or right side and roll up like a little baby. And then you initiate the movement again from the hip. The hip sinks into the floor and then you just swivel the other way into a baby. We're going to do this 2 more times. So we're going to move from the wall to the right side, releasing in the lower hip, middle spine, upper spine, and then tucking, bringing in the navel, breathing out to rotate it around and exhale down into a little baby. This is just to get you used to the floor and surrendering your body weight in. After this, I encourage you all to roll over to a side and in a very soft and gentle way, come to a comfortable seated position. I had requested for a yoga blanket, a so, or a towel, if it's basically to help you support yourself if you're feeling not so flexible. And if you do choose to use it, make sure that your buttocks and half of your thigh at least is being supported. So I'm going to do it with support, so it just shows you guys how you can do it. If you're feeling, even if one blanket is not enough, you can experiment in your own home how much height you need. I know some men use about like that much, which is possibly the height of a yoga brick worth of height, because they can't sit cross-legged on the floor. So these are things that you need to find out for yourself. But we're going to start with another sequence of seated asanas now. So we've done breathing, we've done some lying down, opening up the back and the legs gently. Now it's time for some activation. Again, bring that awareness of the belly breath. And what does that mean to you? Bringing that awareness and not leaving that, I want you to touch all your 10 toes of your feet together in a namaskar position like so on the floor. Keeping the distance as much as you need to. Releasing. We're going to start with 5 conscious breaths. We're going to inhale, and just this area where my hands are, really think of softening it and opening it outwards like a lotus flower opening. That's how I always see it. I feel like my body opens like that, like a lotus flower. And we just breathe, nothing much to do, just witness your own body. The muscles, they move of their own accord when they're ready. Inhale, exhale, really keeping this region soft. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Be free with your hands, whatever and wherever you need to. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. 3 more times. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. I hope your bodies have responded to that. So now we're going to bring our feet a little bit together, closer to your hip. Now, if this means your knees need to go up a little bit, that's also okay. Should not pinch or hurt your knees. If there's any kind of stiff feeling in your knees, you're doing it wrong, and please stop. But if not, we're going to take an inhale, just a gentle knee up, and exhale, opening it out like a butterfly. Again, with the hands, I choose to hold my feet, so both my hands and feet are in Namaskar-asana, but you can choose to do whatever you want. And be free, listen, be intuitive. 3 more times. Inhale, really open that deep groin opening. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. The last exhalation, feeling the weight of your knees, of your shin bones. Really get your max stretched, a soft way. Do not use my body as a guide to what you need to do today. It is just merely a body. What matters is your body. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to leave the right foot on the floor. And the left foot, we're going to hug the knee to our heart like it's a little baby. We're just going to cradle it like a baby. We're going to go from my left side to my right side, like I'm cradling my baby. And those of us who have flexibility like this can also choose to do it like this. If not, you can just find a nice way to what feels comfortable and pleasurable. I guess we keep stretching because if there is a level of good, you feel good, there's something you can do for your body to relieve the aches and pains. So I'm going to do this about 5 more times. Just rolling. You can play around with it. There's a huge range of motion that's available. It's up to you what you feel like and need. We're going to place it now, the left foot down on the floor, and pick up our right knee and bring it close as we can in a comfortable way without losing its height. So this, we're not scrunching up. We're going to hug our own body like a baby, like it's a brand new baby. We love this beautiful baby. For those who have this kind of mobility, you can choose to do it like this. I'm just reminding you again. But if you don't have it, the knee is a very delicate joint, so please look after your knees with care. And we're going to do it 5 more times from my left side to the right. Moving. Don't forget your breathing. And lovely. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open our legs out. They don't need to be very wide. These are my hips. I'm just taking it a little bit wider than my hips. I hope you can see me. Again, if you need height, put height. Otherwise, we don't need it. I would like your 10 fingers to be in front of you, trying to keep your spine as straight as possible. If it's pressure and you can't keep your knees down to the floor, it doesn't matter. Bring your legs a little bit in and try and see where you get to today. We're just going to start by extending our heels as much as we can and then pointing our feet. Extending through the heels. So if you can even like lift it off and point. We're going to do this 5 times. Extending through the heels and then point. I'm doing it double hands and feet. That's just because I'm a dancer and I I feel like it's one body, but you can also choose to do it like this. That's what I'm saying. I like people, when I'm teaching class, I like people to listen to their bodies, to experiment, not to feel like you're in some kind of dictator kind of situation, but more it's a conversation, a dialogue of how do you feel? How can I help you make your body feel open? I think is my approach anyway. So we've done this 5-6 times. Good. So that's keeping your ankles strong. It's helping you knees get activated, which is kind of important when we're busy and running around through the day. Now that we have kept our hands front, we're going to do a second one where we keep our hands behind our buttocks and our fingers facing our toes. And we're going to bring the breath now into our rib cage. And we're going to take our chin a little bit up, and we're just going to inhale 5 times, really feeling this opening of the chest now. If your knees are bent like so, it does not matter. Let's just focus on expansion of the breath in this region for 5. Inhale and exhale, opening the collarbones, releasing the shoulders. Inhale and exhale. Inhale from the bottom of the lungs to the top and exhale. Long neck, loose jaw. Inhale and exhale. And last time, inhale and exhale. Lovely. Bringing both your feet together in the front. I want your toes touching. If again your legs are not flat on the floor, doesn't matter. I still want your toes touching. I want your toes touching, and I want your hands, fingers facing your toes, beside your buttocks. Opening your shoulders so you're not hunching as much as possible. If it's not possible, bend your knees a little bit more so you can get a straight spine. And we're going to take just 5 breaths here, focusing on elongation of the neck, loosening the jaw, opening this whole facial area out, okay? Just 5 breaths. And inhale. Exhale. Try to keep your spine nice and long. Release the quadriceps. The more you can loosen your quadriceps, you will rise. It's beautiful a feeling when you actually start rising from your lower spine. It feels so like conditioner. And exhale. We're just going to take 3 breaths now. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Release. Beautiful. Last exercise of today. There are 2 options, and I'm going to show you both because this is my offering to start a day. And in a short format, I do seated roll downs, which is something like this, and then I change my interlock and I do it. Or what dancers all over the world in every style that I know do is the classic roll down, which is basically legs together or parallel, and you just roll down, tuck in your hips to roll up. So it is your choice what you would like to do, but this in a day, normal day would take me, because I'm teaching it, I'm taking more time. In a normal day, this would take me 10-15 minutes, and I would do something like this just to start my day, to get my breath and just breathe before I go into work, this thing, kids, school, da-da-da-da-da-da. This is just my offering. So, a pointers on how in the Iyengar system we offer that people could sit. Because sitting on the floor, one always asks, and if you're not used to it, how do you sit on the floor? So, I will try to explain today. This is just one way of the millions of varieties. But whichever leg you choose to, I'm going to keep this away so you can see it better. So for now, I'm choosing my right leg. And my right leg, I've kept it kind of like in a 90-degree angle where the shin bone and the thigh bone are kind of making a 90-degree angle. Then I take the second leg, which is in this case my left leg, and I place the heel under the right knee. So both my heels are supporting my knees, and I'm creating a wide and stable base. On that base, I can place my spine and try to get as straight as I can, keeping all those points that we have talked about together. I'm going to give you guys a moment to figure yourself out and get yourself into a comfortable seated position. I'm hoping everyone is ready. And if you are, we're going to do just 3 roll downs and roll ups from a seated position. We're going to ready. We're going to breathe in, get the belly, chest, and air all in. And as we breathe out, like a balloon that's decompressing, exhaling down and allowing your arms just to lengthen out in front of you as much as possible, even if it's tiny, and then bringing yourself in and rolling yourself up. Inhale and exhale, decompressing into a little ball, extending and back. Last one, inhale, exhale. Inhale and up. Thank you so much. If you guys have any questions, I would love to answer them. And if you choose to do this standing, it's also really, really, I'll show it to you once. Just look something like this. Standing straight. And then from here, boom, bring it in line and up. So those are my exercises that I wanted to share with you. And thank you so much for participating, for the ones who have and who will listen to it at some point. And maybe not the whole thing, but maybe one exercise from this might be of use to you. That's my hope, at least.
Thank you, Isha, for this very interesting way of treating the body gently. Is something which I think is very important to, because sometimes we have this knowledge, or we think that taking air and taking out air in and out, it requires a lot of effort, by doing, there's certain schools or certain people that, use the body in a very strong, or, feeling that you have to have strong capacities. And I think what breathing teaches is that it's gentle. So your session is, I think it's wonderful for people that, think that spending a little time of your daily, in your day, will create such good benefit in your body. So thank you. Let's see if we have some questions from someone. If we can share that.
No questions as of now.
No, this is it for now. So maybe I have a question for you. So how directly, the question will be for dancers who train every day, and sometimes what the feeling is that they need to work more with the air. So what would be your advice for dancers or for students of dance who do a lot of training with the body, and how can they start to work with the breath in order to not get injuries, in order to fill up the body with the air. Some advice for, I'm thinking about, you know, the young dancers who train a lot the body without the consciousness of the air, of breathing into their bodies.
Yeah, and 100, like for me, when I was like 20 years ago, when I was like coming up, when people were talking about breath, I was like, what? Breath? Who has time to think of that, right? Because you're like so busy being the dancer and moving your body. But what I have noticed when you start being more aware of breath is the softness. There is a certain softness, which also you learn that your body can be moved with the physical prowess of your muscles, but also with age, and also more importantly with the influence of Kalaripayattu and yoga, which use the breath as energy. And when you start doing that, you use your body in a different way. And I've started noticing some like old contemporary, by old I mean old is nothing, it's an age, more experienced, you know, in the 50s and 60s, where people traditionally think, oh, you can't dance, you're like, oh, so old, which is rubbish, which is absolutely rubbish. Because that experience, that breath, that use of the body, I think at least inspired me as a young dancer. When I saw that, I was like, oh, this person looks very different to me. Why is that? We're doing essentially the same movement, but one person looks very different and I look very different. It's because I was using my quadriceps and the power of my youth kind of thing, which is a muscular strength, as opposed to actually delving in deeper and understanding the deeper mechanics of the body, which is completely linked to breath. And then you find a different way. So I would just advise people to find your own path. Don't listen to anybody. Find your own path. Pilates, yoga. There's so many things available to the world, and every single one of them has a place because we all are different. And what we need to fulfill each other, also culturally, like I grew up in India. So for me, chanting and praying in an Indian sense always made sense to me. But that might not be someone else's experience. But it doesn't mean that you cannot get the full spiritual benefits. They can be attained anyway. So learning to be aware of breath, it can be so simple. And especially after, I started noticing it more after this coronavirus happened. And last year in March, I started getting quite anxious. I started getting these very like feeling of, everything changed so fast. I did not know what was happening in my life. Everything was when we were locked down, always at home. And I was like, oh God. And just aware, just belly breaths. It's so simple. Like kids know it, everyone knows it. We all know how to do it, but and it takes 10 breaths. Like even if you just in a moment of hardness for your mind or whatever, stress, 5 breaths, just take, and honestly, you can see yourself take a seat back from that thing. So if you're working very hard, for example, as a dancer, and you're tired, and take a step back, put your legs up on the wall, breathe. Wherever the hardness is there, bring your body awareness. Don't tell your body what to do. The body's baking babies. The body is doing way more things than your mind can do. It doesn't actually, you don't need to do too much with your body. Just allow your body to listen and listen to your own body. And I think that's a major training for all dancers across the world. Is you begin, doesn't matter if it's ballet or flamenco or kathak or chow or whatever, you begin a dialogue with your body. That's the basics of dance. Athletes too. It's a communication on a daily basis with your body, and how you decide and what you need to do to check in with your body is your journey as a human. People like me can show you things here and there. Maybe you can use them, but I think it's everyone has their own journey, and that's the exciting thing, is that we can have a billion different varieties.
Yes, thank you, Isha. I think we are in that journey, and we are much more conscious nowadays about that. So create that consciousness in society today, if it's artistic or anywhere at school. I think it's very important. Now, this is part of our idea of the project of Prana, is not only to create a performance out of that, but also to share with others. Like you say, everyone has a journey. So it's not only about to say, this is the journey or whatever. Find your way. You can connect to your own. We realized by working the 4 actors that are part of the project of the residents, we exchanged for 15 days from very intimate relation to the air, because we found out that it's a very intimate and personal way of feeling, and at the same time to breathe together for certain time, or feeling that 4 people are breathing together at the same time. It's very strong, it's very powerful. So to exchange with more people all the feelings about breathing, it became a very good conversation, even asking in the street, so at what point today did you have a big breath, and you will find out interesting answers, like, just before I was going to start my car, then I took my breath, so it's interesting to find out from people, that those moments in which you need the feeling of opening up and to get the energy from that. So it's a very interesting research opened now. So just to maybe to end up this session, I would like to see to show you how this journey will continue on Prana. First, introducing, because we are in this project, we're inviting people to participate. So now, the right moment now, we have Viviana, we have Diego Garrido also. We have Denis from France participating in the project, like the 4 actors and me. So we are open to exchange with more people through workshops and through encounters, our project. So Isha, we would like to end up this session by having your dance.